Hello and welcome back to Ecocentric Homestead. I did some harvesting over this past week. The beginning is the Greek oregano underneath the cherry plum tree. I didn't remember to record the actual weighing of this. It came to 158 grams. With the oregano, I stripped the leaves off the stems, so I'm weighing just the leaves. Thyme. This is growing like mad. Flowers are starting on it. Don't know how many of them I'm going to trim off, but that's okay. Because I wanted to keep this 2 feet by a foot and a half, because from the border, from the edge of the bed to the center, right? The bed is 3 feet. I've got some cherry wood stakes. So we'll select where the center is. Maybe we'll even look down inside. It's about right there, so I'll put a stake in here. And one in here. That's the 2 feet. See what the total distance is. 33 inches. That's from the outside edge of the border 2x4. That's 16 inches in from that peg. Just going to put it right there. And another one there. Did I get 2 feet in the back? Don't need to be visible, they just need to be a marker for me. Now I can harvest this. See, this is why you need to harvest it actually more often, because inside it gets like this and you even get the decaying matter, right? So that's no good for me to bring in, but I do have to trim this back a bit because I have to get it back to the edge of the bed. This is the older stuff where I had trimmed it before. And now what I'm trying to do, this stuff I'm just going to put over there for a mulch. To get back so I can see this border board underneath here. I could, in theory, let this grow higher, but this is an evergreen. It'll stay green under the snow. So I'm going to have to kind of keep it down as well. Now we'll see how well this area regenerates. so we can know then how much I can cut back or let top grow. Now we'll have to trim outside. Hey, this stuff is growing like crazy. I'm just in there. No. I'm going to show what up. Okay, so here's our peg, and you can see on the inside, you see, because there's no light getting in there, all the leaves die. Now we're going to watch and see how this returns. If it flushes out really well, then maybe the next time I can actually cut it back a little bit past the pegs and then get a continuous green on the outside, and you'll never see the inside brown again. So that's that one cut down, and there's the bowl of thyme that I'm going to take in to dry. This is what thyme is like when it's out in full bloom. This is the French thyme. I'm going to put in some pegs now and see if I need to trim any off of it. This one was going to be 1.5 feet long by half the bed in that way. 1.5 is 18 inches. That's right there. A little stiff there. So that's 18 inches in. Now you can see I just need to trim a little bit right there, straight across there. I'll have to weigh this in multiples. I have to put a small enough container on here so that I can see the scale. Let's go to 300 grams. So 300 grams and 301 grams. Empty that. Put in another 300 grams. Okay, that's another 300 grams. Oh, that was convenient. That says 50 grams. So we got 650 grams. Going to be another experiment on the go here. You see, this is my parsley. I have 3 of them here, and they're all going to seed. This is their 2nd year. Looking at this one, he's got flower buds coming out all over. So I have to look at each one. And what the plan is, if I prevent this from flowering, will it come back next year? I am going to take each flower stalk and I'm going to cut this one back like that. And we're going to see if it comes back next year, if you prevent it from flowering, or will it die like the other one done? Because the one that was here, you can see its stalk still there. It didn't come back, but it was in its 3rd year when it flowered. And then of course take off the leaves that's down low as well. Show you something. You see here, those leaves wouldn't getting any light because all the other ones was laying on top of them, and they're shriveling up. So it's no good to just leave those leaves laying on the ground like that. This is one that shriveled right away. So when they're finished, look down underneath, it's all off the ground. And that's how we leave them. And now to weigh them. 0 grams. That's a nice stack now, isn't it? 268 grams. I have the pegs put in. Doesn't leave me with a whole lot of savory that I need to cut. Looking good. Now to weigh savory for June the 30th. We have 79 grams. Now it is time to harvest garlic scapes. I would like to make pesto with it, but I don't think I have all the ingredients. Garlic leaves are a little tougher. That's why I use pruners to actually clip them off. There's my harvest. Let's go in and weigh it. For 543 grams. 544 grams. I have a couple of good patches of lettuce, and this morning we're going to clip off the outer leaves and see what weight we've harvested. Not so overly used to harvesting lettuce, so I'm just going by what I think is right. There's no leaves laying down on the ground where slugs and that would get underneath and get rid of that slug before I take the leaf. And the plants, they're just barely touching again. That's better. Here's my other patch. I'm going to go in and weigh what I've got because that's Shed Wars, and then I'll come back out and I'll harvest what I want to take out of this. 0. 172 grams of lettuce from Shed Wars garden. Let's empty this out and put the big bowl on there, and because I just want to weigh this part all in what is total. Put it on 0. Put this back in. From that patch we got 287 grams. Then you add on the Shed Wars patch, we've got 459 grams, which is almost exactly a pound, just over a pound. Tiny Tim tomatoes, they're producing ripe tomatoes 2 or 3 at a time. Over this past week I harvested 168 grams of Tiny Tim tomatoes. This is my hot pepper growing in the kitchen window. I'm going to harvest this one now. It's pretty much all red, so it should be good and hot and ripe. And that one weighs 20 grams. This is the hot pepper, second generation away from Apache pepper. My other harvest has been strawberries. The strawberry patch is coming along beautifully, but I won't get many strawberries this year. I'm thinking that they'll just be garden snacks. So I haven't weighed any. Let me think, 4, 5, 6, 8 strawberries that I have eaten so far. So that's the harvesting for this week. We'll see what happens next week now. Hope you enjoyed the video, and come back for the next one. I'll see you then.